Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Modular, the Warframe mod review series. This episode is part 2 of the Nekros augments, where we checked out Soul Survivor and Creeping Terrifier in the first video. This one's going to be focused on his third and fourth augment, Despoil and Shield of Shadows. Like the previous two augments, you can pick them up from either the parent sequence or the red veil by rising to their max rank and spending 25,000 standing. But what do these augments do to the abilities that makes them so special? The first one is Despoil, the augment for his third ability, Desecrate. Once again, a super simple augment in which it changes the energy requirement for Desecrate to draw from health pool instead of energy pool. The augment is affected by power efficiency, with a higher efficiency lowering the health cost for each Desecrate. This augment is amazing, and it's a core part of Nekros' builds in pretty much every single case. The fact that it uses the Desecrate on its own, it spawns health orbs constantly. It keeps your health topped off at almost all times. Plus the fact that it uses health allows for interesting synergy. It allows for good synergy with Soul Survivor, for example. So you don't need your energy for Desecrate, it keeps it free for reviving your teammates. It also allows for synergy with Equilibrium, since you're always going to take health damage, meaning you're going to constantly be topping yourself off on both health and energy at all times because of Equilibrium. It really strengthens any build. It also works super well with health conversion, since that only takes effect if you pick up a health orb. And since you're doing almost constant health damage to yourself, it means that you will pick up loads of health orbs, keeping health conversion topped off almost all the time. Gives Nekros a massive boost in survivability. It's important to know though that you cannot trigger the rage effect with Despoil. No infinite energy loops here, sorry about that. Plus you can also not desecrate so much that you're going to kill yourself with it. The ability is just going to deactivate, so that's something good to know. Chuck an Arcane Pulse on there as well. It really pushes that synergy between health loss from Despoil and the health orbs from Desecrate. This mod is a staple part of any Nekros build, and one that I absolutely recommend spending that 25,000 standing to grab. Now the fourth and final augment for Nekros, that is Shield of Shadows. This one is a little bit more complicated than the other three augments, although not by much. This augment, you will use your shadows. Nekros is going to link to them, taking 6% less damage for each shadow that is alive. This percentage damage resistance is affected by power strength. It is capped at 90%, however you need a power strength of 214% to be able to even hit that. So the investment into it is pretty huge. In addition to that, the link range is affected by power range mods. Once again though, another super good augment, and one I take on my Nekros at all times if I'm doing higher level content. Nekros isn't the most survivable frame normally. He doesn't really have any real defensive skill, and vanilla Shadows of the Dead really doesn't do enough to act as that defensive ability. However, Shield of Shadows does that for him. If you see my suit up on Nekros Prime, I have a build that takes advantage of insane synergy of a ton of different stuff. Despoil is a key part of that, dropping health so we can not only get energy for the shadows, but health for health conversion, plus the heal from Arcane Pulse, Arcane Energize for more energy as well. And this means that with a max blind rage and power drift on there, we can hit that 90% damage resistance from Shield of Shadows, and you can actually maintain it fairly easily. But this turns Nekros from being a reasonably squishy frame into a frame with the ability to face tank just about anything. In that Nekros Prime video, I was tanking level 114 enemies. But still, tanking them all the same, and that shows the true power of this augment. When combined with a whole bunch of synergy with a ton of different stuff, it can turn Nekros into an insane tank. You don't even need to go as insane with a combo as I did. 60 or 70% damage resistance isn't that hard to get to, and that's still a really decent buff to the survivability of the frame. Combine that with knockdown immunity while he's linked to the shadows, it makes the augment amazing. One thing to remember very well though, if you lose a shadow, it will drop the damage resistance down, so make sure to keep your shadows topped off and alive at all times. Once again, well worth the 25,000 standing you need to get hold of this augment. So I hope you enjoyed these two videos on the 4 augments for Nekros. These 4 augments are a fantastic way to spend 100,000 standing, because they are all so useful in many different situations. And that is the true definition of what an augment should be. If you're struggling to work out what augments that you want on your frame and you don't have room for them all, then they've done your job. Or they've done their job, forcing you to make a choice. Feel free to head on over to my Nekros Prime video if you are stuck for modding ideas. But for now, let me know what you think of these augments in the comments below, as well as ideas of what you'd like to see from me. Feel free to smash that like button if you liked the video, subscribe if you enjoy the content of my channel, and I shall see you in the next video.